Welcome to today's debate, where we explore one of the most thought-provoking ideas. Could humanity have already risen and fallen before? Will a nuclear war lead to a new beginning for civilization? And if so, what will it take to rebuild after such destruction? Let's dive into these questions and more.
I believe the world was once destroyed and rebuilt. Ancient structures, myths of global floods, and unexplained artifacts suggest humanity may have risen to great heights before, and fallen. And if a nuclear war happens now, it could wipe out 90% of the population, throwing us into a new beginning from scratch after the nuclear winter ends.
That's a powerful image, but it leans more on speculation than evidence. While ancient myths and ruins are mysterious, there's no conclusive proof that a technologically advanced civilization existed before ours. The gaps in our history may reflect lost knowledge, but not necessarily a previous global high-tech society. As for nuclear war, yes, it's devastating, but our world is more prepared than you suggest. We have decentralized data, underground storage, and even seed vaults. Rebuilding wouldn't be easy, but we wouldn't be starting from zero.
Well, let's think about it. If nuclear war happened, with 90% of the population wiped out, who do you think would be eliminated first? The urban populations in major cities, military and political hubs, and technologically dependent regions. Survivors would be pushed into fear and despair, focusing only on survival and trying to endure the harsh nuclear winter. And once decades pass, knowledge of the old world would fade. Future generations would start to believe what remains of our civilization's story as myths or legends passed down by word of mouth.
That's a fair challenge, and I agree, not everyone would survive equally. Urban areas and tech-heavy regions would be the hardest hit, but not all survivors would be helpless. Some rural communities, off-grid preppers, and isolated regions may endure. Knowledge would still exist, stored offline, printed, and archived in bunkers. Yes, recovery would take time, but it wouldn't be a complete reset. With our modern understanding of knowledge storage, digital and physical archives, we're better prepared than any civilization in history.
Even if some survivors have knowledge of the old world, the psychological toll on environmental conditions would be devastating. People wouldn't be thinking of rebuilding archives or satellites. They'd be focused on survival. And even if they were intelligent enough to know how to revive lost knowledge, the resources simply wouldn't be there. Electricity, advanced machinery, and functioning systems would be gone. Even with all the information left behind, it would be nearly impossible for any small group to regenerate what's been lost, not even 1%. Decades of nuclear winter would make things even harder, pushing future generations to treat our stories as just the myths of gods.
That's a compelling point, and you're right to emphasize the psychological and environmental collapse that would follow. Fear, trauma, and basic survival instincts would dominate. But here's the difference. Even if the initial survivors focused solely on survival, fragments of the old world would still exist. Damaged books, abandoned ruins, broken tech, these are cultural fossils. Future generations might not rebuild exactly what we had, but they won't be starting from complete myth either. They would find our cities, machines, and synthetic materials, which would leave them with questions, perhaps as we question the ruins of ancient societies today.
Perhaps, but as time passes, those materials will become unrecognizable. They'll eventually fade into history. People will build their own beliefs, find their own paths, and what they find of us might be just stories of gods.
Or they might rediscover pieces of the old world, bringing fragments of our civilization into their own. The difference is, we're living with a legacy of both knowledge and technology. It would be challenging, yes, but starting from complete scratch is unlikely.
We've each made our case. Was our world built on the ruins of forgotten empires? And will the next begin after a fiery end? Now it's your turn. Who do you think won this debate? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if enough of you want part 2, we'll be back. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and hit the bell for more debates. See you in the next one.